So my experience, and I talked about this in my last stream, my experience with War Thunder, and this all has to do with Star Citizen. You used to be able to, I don't know if it's still like that, but you used to be able to buy captured airplanes. So you would effectively have a P-47 Thunderbolt that is captured by the Germans. So in simulator battles that I'm a fan of and that I played, I saw that somebody was playing like historic battles. Those are different. It's like third person and all of that. Simulator is like you're in the cockpit. You got to use the joystick and the throttle and all of that. So what would happen is you're flying as Americans and let's say you're in a P-47 and you see a silhouette of a P-47 approaching you. And you're like, yeah, sure, it's a friendly. Like, you don't have markers on those planes, so it's fine. And you let him get like behind you, and then he starts shooting. And since he has better speeds, better agility, because it's a modified P-47, it's a German P-47, which, like, whatever, and it has better guns, it's just gonna take you out. If you manage to survive, he's gonna outmaneuver you and he's gonna kill you because it's a overpowered fucking plane. It was the same with the Yak-3 that was also captured by the Germans. It's a Russian plane. We call that one UFO because it would just like do some maneuvers that no other plane could do. And you can only buy it for real money. And if you lose, even if you win, you're gonna lose money, like in-game money, to repair your planes, ships, tanks, or whatever in War Thunder. And you need to gain experience to like upgrade the points. You need to have more money to repair all of those assets so you can play another game. So what happened to me is I had a ton of like those like that like in-game money when I stopped playing. I came back. I wanted to record a video on it or whatever, and I had nothing left. They just like took everything away from me for whatever reason. They changed my name to like numbers and letters and whatever, and it was Grumpy Eye before, and it's not anymore. And I tried playing a couple of games, and since I was at 0 lions, I just like even though I won, I had to repair my tanks, but I didn't have enough money to repair them, so I couldn't play another one. So the only thing that I could do is actually buy in-game currency or buy the experience or buy another tank or plane or whatever with real money so I can play again. And then on top of that, you have those like pay-to-win elements of, hey, if you like paid for this ship or this plane or this tank, you're gonna have more experience and more silver lions or the in-game currency given to you after the match ends. It's like plus 50% or whatever because you paid for it. So yeah, have fun. So for me, it's yeah, that's pay to win. And also, like, you can't really even unlock any like new tanks and ships and planes solely because like it costs a lot of money, and you should really buy the silver lions or the in-game currency with real money so you can unlock something. And it's such a pay to win game. It's not even like pay to progress. It's really pay to win with like the bushes that like conceal you basically, and you can look like you're a part of the fucking map. Especially if you, and he just talked about the paints. There's a paint where you, yeah, it's basically pay to play at this point, but like it is pay to win, right? It's the same thing. So just to finish my thoughts, you had those bushes, and you had a paint that was like a charcoal paint or whatever that made your tank look like it was destroyed. So nobody would shoot you because you're already destroyed. So you had some bushes on top of it, and if people saw you, they would be like, okay, he's destroyed, but they wouldn't see you because you're in the bushes, concealed by the bushes, and they can't see your tank. So that's pay to win. So anyway, for me, that is pay to win. And I don't think the Star Citizen is pay to win, simply because Star Citizen, first of all, there's nothing to win, right? There's no like end game so you can win. I think it's pay to progress, so you can progress faster. But yeah, let's hear what our listeners or callers have to say. So the first one is going to be Puppeteer. Hello, Puppeteer. Hello, hello.
Let me just mute the screen because I'm lagging. There we go.
Alrighty.
Good day, good night, good morning to everybody.
Good morning. Good night.
Yeah.
What's up?
How are you, man?
Pretty good. I'm like really tired. I slept for like, I don't know, 5 hours. So like I'm wasted, but yeah.
Yeah. Have a beer, man. That will relax you.
Dude, I drink one beer and I'm just like, with the second one, I'm gonna be sleepy.
Yeah,
But
tipsy.
like
Yeah, right.
the first one, I'm drunk already. I
That's
haven't
amazing.
I haven't drank in like, I don't know, 10 years anymore.
Yeah, same here. Two cans will do, man. Yeah.
Yeah. So, what are your thoughts on the topic? Because you were the one that like initiated the podcast.
Yeah, I would like to like expand on a couple of things that we've been saying in the past and so on. First of all,
All right.
it should be like that we are not talking in the current systems that we have, in current game that we have, but
All right.
rather looking at it in future. Somebody in chat, I think it was Rukumo, you can correct me on this, in previous Twitch stream that you had with the
Mm-hmm.
caller said, like, basically, like, I can take an Aurora and I can almost single-handedly, not almost, I can single-handedly kill all the NPCs. I can even go and PvP with it. Why you can do that? Because the certain meta that currently is in current build of Star Citizen is those 45s, is the corkscrews, is the backstrafe, it's basically exploiting the game systems, and devs know about it. If you go PvE about it, you can just do one maneuver
And you,
against
yeah,
turrets,
and you're
against
still gonna win.
NPCs.
Yeah.
That's the corkscrew, and all of the shots will miss you. Like 99% of the shots incoming to you will miss you. The only thing that will hit you probably now from NPC is the missiles that you cannot chaff or flare because the servers are just not registering the flares.
Yeah.
But anyways, so in current systems, yeah, you can take an Aurora and you can win against any opponent. Aurora is small, Arrow is small. You can take those small hitbox kind of ships and you can win against big ships because you can scuff the pip and they cannot hit you. And I come from a big PvP kind of background, and I've been here from 2013, 12 onwards, and I've been with Space Cutlet. I've been with the Dark Law. I'm on Shadow Moses Discord. I hang with the guys. I don't play with them, but I know how they circulate and how they think, and
Mm-hmm.
they're probably one of the best organizations for PvP. And they're also like worrisome about where the game is going. So my points are my points alone. I'm not representing here or anybody.
Yeah. Yeah. Sure.
So just to clear that out. And why I think it's like in current state, yeah, it's not pay to win because you can do whatever with any ship you want. But let's say in future, let's say
Okay.
let's roll back on how other games that I played for hours and hours work. So let's take a MMO like World of Warcraft. We can all agree it's an MMO. It
Yeah.
has a sub-based kind of system. You pay a monthly subscription and you get to play it. Why they did it? Because they know they had an amazing product. They had an amazing game. The only way to sustain it is they had to make you pay monthly sub to be able to access the
Is
service.
it
You
still
buy the
like
base
that?
game. Sorry?
Is it still like that?
Uh, I'm not sure. I left it on Wrath of the Lich King when I killed Arthas, so maybe somebody in chat knows, but I'm pretty sure maybe it's still like that.
Okay, because
But
I think I saw that it was like free to play, and I was like, what? That's weird. I'm gonna
it's
check it on
unknown. I
Steam.
can do a quick Google search on it, but I'm not sure about it. I think it still needs a sub. But anyway, you paid like $60 for the hard copy of the game or
Mm-hmm.
digital one. You get the base game and you get a month of game time, so to
Okay.
say, when you register the key. So then the next step will be like you pay for the devs to continue developing next DLC, next expansion.
Yeah.
So that's why they did it, basically to provide for the work hours the devs put in, so they can make money as a company and push out the next DLC,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So the moment the interest in World of Warcraft came down and they didn't have the player base or the peak that they had in previous years, they had to rely on other tactics that other guys in the industry started doing. And one of those tactics is WoW tokens. And those tokens basically allow you to get yourself boosted to whatever without the grind, without the progression that you will naturally think against the guys who pay normal subs and play the game. You can just buy a token and boost yourself to whatever you want.
Amazing.
So, and the community backlash, the WoW token, I think, is still in the game. I haven't played with WoW tokens. I haven't played, as I said, I played the original, and when we killed the big boss, it was world second actually. When we killed the Artes, that was like game complete for me.
Mm-hmm.
And let's take on another game now. Let's take Elite Dangerous. It's a released game, so you have everything set out. Everybody starts with a one little ship called, I think, Sidewinder, and it's a
Okay.
small ship. You can barely survive in it. If you go tackle NPCs with it, you can die literally because you don't know how the game works. Nothing basically is. The game systems don't hold your hand. They don't show you where you need to go. There's like 1,000 systems around you that you need to explore and find the places that you need to grind.
Yeah.
You need to communicate with other people playing the game to basically tell you, oh, I found a really good spot for the farming of NPCs, of the bounty hunting missions, or I found a really good trade route, because not a lot of the tools were developed in the beginning. So you had to fully invest your time in a game and progress. And the progression would be, you would grind the next combat ship. With that combat ship, will because the trade ships are going to cost more, you would grind the next combat ship. You will grind more money with that combat ship doing bounty hunting.
Yeah.
And then you will invest all of your cash into trading. And it has three systems. It has triple elite system, I think. Now maybe it has like arena commander system as well that you can master. But Elite Dangerous is called Elite Dangerous because two final ranks are Dangerous and then Elite. Elite gives you permission to go into Founders World, which is like a separate star system where everything is on discount and so on. So that's the end goal of the base game, to get
All
yourself
right.
in Elite, in combat, in trading, and in exploration. So you had to encompass all three PvE things to get to progress yourself to be kind of decent in money flow, that you can actually go to PvP and play competitive PvP. And if you die, you have to buy back your ship with or without your modules that you invested in.
Oh wow.
And then it's like, I think it's like 10% of the whole price. And say if your ship is like a big ship and you die to another player, you have to pay millions literally to claim it back. Not a easy
Amazing.
task. So
Yeah, the only thing, like most of what you just said, is completely new to me. But the only thing that I knew about Elite Dangerous that like threw me off is that a lot of people complain that the grind is so bad in the game that like it's like, why would you even fucking play it?
yeah, because for me the player base in Elite, like same in Star Citizen, like space sims don't get a lot of attention. Not a lot of younger
Yeah,
guys
it's
will
a niche
play
market.
space games. It's a niche market, yeah. So the developers, I think maybe they were slow, but I also think that they dragged content releasing over the time to keep the players invested. And they also kept like those huge kind of grinds. I literally had to grind to elite in trading, and I fell. It was me and two of my friends, and we were jump to each other spots so we can like optimize the time, so we can cut corners basically.
Yeah.
So, and I've fallen asleep during gameplay. So I was trading from station to station, from system to system, and it was basically space trucking. So during the night, I just fallen asleep in my chair by playing Elite. That's how the grind was awful, because you had to trade a certain amount of goods and mine certain amount of goods to be able to achieve the elite rank, so you can get to that system with triple elite. So that's the progression in elite. You need to grind, you need to buy bigger ships, and bigger you go, the more you accumulate. And over
Okay.
time you get into PvP, and then you start engineering and
Can
so
you
on and
like
so on.
use real money to progress faster?
There's no real money. The only real money that you pay for elite is DLC or skins, and that's it.
Okay, I like that.
Yeah, it's a really awesome game that fallen short because community just left over the years.
I mean,
Like one
yeah,
of the
it looks outdated. They like I remember that they just introduced the aliens and there was like an alien spotting and all of that, but they went nowhere with it. And then they said that you're gonna have like ship interiors that you can walk around, but they never did that. So people got pissed off and just left.
yeah, I think as well it's also a lot of about the money, because they as they put elite on hold somewhere to like almost a year, they developed other games that were part of their studio just
Yeah,
to be able to maybe with a new IP maybe catch up on that revenue. That's
yeah.
just like community theory, but like it can go nowhere.
It
It's
might
a
be.
rabbit hole for
You never
sure.
know.
So in the end, it's all about the money, right?
Yeah.
Another really great, like the game, it's still alive, but it's not like Elite is not where it was, or it. I don't think it can ever get back to where it was.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Another game that example of a good, like Elite could be in a category that it's a not good funding model,
But yeah,
because
but like,
in the end it failed, right?
I gotta stop you here. Like, what's the point? Like, why are you? You just mentioned World of Warcraft and then Elite
Mhm.
Dangerous, and then like, so Elite's funding model wasn't really good because they're like the game is dying, right?
Yeah, the game died. Well, dying. Yeah, correct.
Yeah.
Dying. Multiple factors in that.
World
It
of
would go
Warcraft, on the
too.
other hand, had to like have a store, even though they have a subscription model.
Yeah, because the player base dipped.
Yeah.
So the
So
moment it dips, you gotta go as a company. You gotta go somewhere to gain the money.
are you now a proponent of pay to win? Like I'm asking you because like yeah, you had to World of Warcraft had to do that to survive, right? Because once the community dips, there's going to be less income from the substore, right? Or the subscriber whatever
Yeah,
thingy.
yeah. They had to look at the other avenues. I mean, Blizzard probably at that point didn't need any more money, but hey,
Yeah.
yeah, it's a dip for World of Warcraft, which is a IP. Let's see if we can bounce it back, So WoW tokens and so on.
Yeah, but like that's how it needs to work, unfortunately. Like if you have an MMO, you have to have servers running at all times, right? So it
Yeah,
needs to
sure.
be either subscription based, but if the player count is low and it's going like it's dipping down and going in even lower, then you need to introduce some other like monetization tactics to like get that money back so you can run the servers, so you can develop the game even more, etc., etc.
Yes. From a company standpoint, yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
absolutely agree.
I'm
You
not
have to
saying
figure out
that
how
it's a
how
great thing, but like towards us, the
you
gamers. But
gotta figure out how to work. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, how to
yeah.
provide for your employees, of course. Well, we cannot say that Blizzard cannot provide for its employees, but say any other game.
Well, I mean, I did the video why like the gaming industry is so greedy, etc. So I went and looked into the like stats of Activision Blizzard or
Mhm.
the revenue, and I'm trying to do two tasks at the same time. Stocks drop. Let me just these are stocks. I wanna show this Okay, Market Insider, is this it? No, it's not. So you could see that they weren't really earning money. Like it was a company for the last 5 years. It's a company that just didn't earn more money that they spent. They were just at the same spot for half a decade, and that's why they're like getting sold to Microsoft right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, but please continue. I'm gonna try to find it.
Let's switch to a second monetization method that, third actually. So a game called Warframe that's really well successful.
All
You
right.
cannot call it an MMO because it's like a co-op game almost, but you have a hub that where you can interact with players. But it's a massive game, and developers there are also it's open-ended development. They also do these what we call ISE. They also do that. I think I don't know if it's weekly now or monthly, but they always do with all the big developers and the main guy, the game director is always there almost. I don't know. I'm not following it so closely now, but I
All right.
did follow it like up to maybe 2 years back. And that game has a monetization method that is unique, and I think it's also like now concurrent. Yeah, last 30 days concurrent play base average 38,000 people and gaining. So it's
Mm-hmm.
peak players is 61,000. So it's a healthy kind of a project, and the way they monetize is you can buy, say, a new, they call them operators, not operators, not Tenos, they call them Warframes. Yeah, that's why
Okay.
the game's called Warframe. So you
All
have
right.
these like biotic robots, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the new one comes out and it's in a prime variant. It's like more sparkly kind of a Warframe. And you can buy it outright, but also for a price. And also in game, there is a blueprint for it. A blueprint where every time they introduce a new Warframe, there will be new positions of interest around the planets on maps. So you would grind those maps until you get all the blueprints, and you can assemble that Warframe on your own. And also, if you don't have the prime currency for cosmetics, you don't have to pay a single dime. You're not obliged to pay, but you want to give them so they can continue developing the game.
Mm-hmm.
So you would buy bits here and there, so that's how they fund the game. But you can also sell those blueprints on an in-game market and acquire those same premium currency that they sell to you.
Okay.
So you can basically spend zero and continue grinding and obtains the first set for you. Then the rest that you obtain, you can sell on the market and gain the premium currency to buy the cosmetics. Or you can open up your wallet and pay for them outright to support them.
All right.
So I think that's like the healthiest of them all in current gaming industry, how they operate. It's
Yeah.
also a niche game, so it's a space game, kind of.
I actually have it on Steam, but I never played it.
Yeah, it's pretty good, and I think it's based in Unreal 4, but graphics are pretty good, and I think they're making a new one, like a spin-off or
That's
something
cool.
that I recently watched.
Okay, so let's stick to the Star Citizen
Go
topic.
let's go to the crux of
Yeah.
the issue. Yeah. So why I'm saying it was pay to win, it is pay to win, and it's gonna be pay to win in the future. And I'm looking at future predominantly. In the
All right.
past, you had you had on Arena Commander module, we called it dogfighting module. You had to buy it. That got refunded. Never mind. You had like the hangar module in the beginning. You could walk around your ship. You had like a fish tank that you can add. You can have that rover that you can add, and then came in the dogfighting module. So with you having access to the dogfighting modules, you would go in there with your Aurora, and all of a sudden you would see a Hornet, and that Hornet will splash you in like matter of seconds. And yeah, I should buy that Hornet. Then you buy the Hornet, then comes out the Super Hornet, which has more firepower, But the turrets that we have now for Ghost, for the tracker, for that
They're
are
all the same.
interchangeable,
Yeah.
weren't interchangeable in the beginning. So the only way to obtain the Super Hornet kind of power, you had to pay for it, basically.
The only thing
That's
that I would say that like stayed in Arena Commander is I'm gonna say Sentinel, because you can't really acquire it in Arena Commander unless you have it in your hangar. You can't rent it. I
I
don't know
think
if
now you can. I
you
think
can
now
now.
you can.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. You couldn't for fucking 2 years.
Yeah. Most of the stuff you couldn't. There was no rent. There
Yeah.
was nothing. You came in with what you bought.
All right.
So after I cannot remember exactly because I wasn't heavily involved back then because of my PC and so on. Uh, um, what happened? I don't know if it happened afterwards or at the or before the Super Hornet. There was the Saber. When Saber came out, it was the most OP ship in Arena Commander, and everybody is now trying bring back Saber to its glory, like because it was the most OP dogfighting ship that you can have. Then it came in the Arrow, and you couldn't rent those, you couldn't acquire them in game, and in game doesn't translate to Arena Commander. So the only way there was no PU back then, so the only way you could acquire that ship is basically to pay for it. So
But it's
that
not
was
like that anymore. So why do you
yeah,
still think that it's pay to win?
that was pay to win in the past.
Okay.
Okay, so let's take on topic of pay to win in current. In current, I have a dear friends that have like fleets of ships, and I say to them like I like to grind in the game. I like to obtain my stuff alone, and they would say I just want to enjoy the game, you know. So I have all the ships because we are PvPers. I have all the ships that I can basically take as a donor. So the guy will have like a big ship full of Panther repeaters that are
Mm-hmm.
like kind of a meta or whatever. So he will take those Panther repeaters and equip them on his ship.
All
So
right.
he has a fleet of ships that he can crisscross and equip the best components to his ship that he has on 0 hour. So the moment he's out of the hub, he has everything that he needs to start killing, to start pirating, to start whatever
Okay.
he wants, you know?
Sure.
And he has probably a big trading ship that he can trade or whatever the game loop is. And here I come. I start with a fighter, I start with a medium ship, and I start with a medium trading ship. I don't have all the guns, so the moment I enter the hub, exit the hub, I need to go through the stations, through the loops over the Stanton, and I need to buy all the stuff because I start with 20k Alpha UEC
Okay.
because that's the minimum amount. I gotta go grind some bounty missions or whatever the game loop to acquire the money to buy the modules to equip my ships.
Okay.
So my friend that has the fleet, he's already starting to do. Let's say we go bounty hunting path. I'm grinding the minimal available bounty hunters to me in light fighter. He's already past that level and he's doing like the biggest ones that
But
are
that is
available
not winning.
hours, days before me.
That is paying to progress, though.
That's paying to progress. But in the uh, let's say we agree that's I don't think there's such thing as paying to progress. I think that's purely paying to win. But
Okay.
let's double track on that. Uh, say lost my train of thought. Say we go PvP and we can in the broken kind of systems that are in the game now. I can go with a one light fighter, right? I can die and I need to wait for a claim timer. That's probably a little bit, but he has a fleet of ships and he can spawn back in and go straight out.
Okay.
Is that pay to progress or pay to win?
Are you still winning, though? That's the question. Because see,
If we are still constantly winning,
look. So the reason why I brought the War Thunder topic up is because in that game you pay to actually win. Like you like having what are they called, bushes on top of your tanks, and having your tanks being charcoal, so they look like they're destroyed already. gives you a massive advantage over players, and you will be on the top of the leaderboard every fucking time. Because, yeah, also you get like double the points. So that is the, like,
Yeah, thank God we're not on that level that we were in, but that level was in
exactly.
the past.
Well,
That level was
maybe
in
it was
the
in the
past.
past, yeah, but like we're talking about like currently and in the future. So for me, is first you got to tell me what is there to win, because we don't have an end game, and also I think that like multi-crew ships and bigger ships are going to be are going to require a bigger crew. Therefore, the split needs to be bigger, or how do you say that? Like if you have an even split, in the end you're gonna earn as much as like I gave this example a couple of days ago with the mole. Like you have the mole, it has 96 SUs of cargo, and you have a prospector, which is like a single pilot ship, and it has 32 SUs. In the mole, you have 3 people up to 4 people, and if you split, if you have an even split, it's basically the same as you piloting a prospector, right? So I'm pretty sure that the Orion is going to be the same. So there's the question, like, yeah, okay, the Orion will like make maybe more money in a shorter time, maybe, but also it will need a big ass hauler, because you're not going to jump with the Orion left and right to like refine and well, it's going to probably have a refinery on its own, but you're not going to sell the goods from the Orion. You're going to have like a Hull C or Hull whatever, or a band of merchantmen picking that stuff up. So there's like one more mouth to feed, or a couple of more mouths to feed. So see where I'm like going with this.
Yeah. I do. But since we're debating this, I can go right back at you
Give me a
with
second.
another analogy.
Archer to the left. So Archer, you can hop back in. We're gonna I'm gonna talk to you, and whoever wants to talk, you can hop into my pre-podcast on Discord. Please
I think
continue.
he
Sorry.
just bumped to AFK or
No, he's not in the AFK. I just checked.
Okay.
We were just like taking
I'm
a long
sorry I'm
time.
taking so long.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. Yeah, continue, please.
The another analogy. So let's take World of Warcraft back again, compared to Star Citizen. So gamers called out on World of Warcraft giving in other expansions the early access, and early access was like, say, I don't know, maybe 5 days. So in competitive kind of level of World of Warcraft, there was guilds that were competing who is gonna clear the highest dungeon available on the highest difficulty level and obtain the first loot and so on, first kills. So they were competing for world kills basically. So all the competitive guys would get extra money out, and they would buy these premium kind of editions that will allow them to go into the game before the majority of the player base.
Okay.
So they will have a head start of getting to the maximum level to get the normalized gear to get into the dungeons. So on the competitive level, if you weren't in that race, if you didn't buy that money, if you didn't buy that premium version with money, then you wouldn't be able to compete. Plain and simple. No matter how much hours you spent, so on. 5 days head start, it's a good head start. So, say compared to Star Citizen, me and you are playing. I have 2 ships. You have 6 ships. One of those ships can optimize a trade route that will net you the amount of money that in a month of time you will be double the say certain goal or whatever the goal is going to be. You're going to be double the amount of goal just by having that ship against the player who doesn't have that ship.
All
How
right.
do you describe that?
Could you please repeat? I didn't really understand. So what? You have a bigger
Star
ship,
Citizen,
therefore you're earning more money.
Star Citizen releases.
Okay.
I have 3 ships. You have 10 ships.
All right.
One of those ships is an optimized money maker kind of ship, a trading ship, that can
Sure.
take certain amount from every station and do the hops, has a better warp drive or whatever, quantum drive, can go to other places faster than I can do in a my Cutty Black, and it can take more cargo. So you have an optimized ship for the trading purpose, which Cutty Black is like unoptimized. It's a beginner
Yeah.
kind of ship.
It's a
So who's gonna
multi-purpose ship.
progress faster to a end game kind of goal, which we don't know what's gonna be, but
But
let's pretend.
exactly, you just said who's going to progress faster, right?
Yeah,
Because maybe, look, maybe the Pioneer and you having Habs is going to be the end game. So maybe some people that already have Pioneers have paid to progress all the way to the end because they have a Hab, and now like whenever the game releases, they can just like plonk their Hab down, and they can like make the whole fucking base, and they have like a bigger tile than the other people because they paid for the Pioneer. Therefore, they have progressed all the way to the end. So honestly, I don't really like that because like, what's the point in playing the game if you're like at that point? But again, we don't really
but
know what the game is going to be in the
do
end,
you
right?
think
Hmm?
the game is probably gonna lean more towards player versus player interactions in the end? Maybe there's gonna be a safe space or whatever, like this is full copium, whatever.
Oh,
Maybe
sure.
it's
No,
not
no.
gonna be
Solo is going to
maybe
be safe space. Like if you
safe
fire a
space,
gun,
maybe it's gonna be PvP. But say let's take Pyro for example, that's gonna be lawless and it's probably gonna have, I say probably, maybe it's not gonna have the best resource.
man, I don't even
But
fucking know what Pyro is going to look like anymore. Like, they went from Dying Star and like the whole and like uninhabited
we
thing.
are full copium mode here, like
Yeah.
we are full imagine mode. So
All right, but let's say
Pyro,
there's
best
a
place
system
to
like
be.
that. Sure.
Profit wise, it's the best place to be, or some other system. I don't know what the name of the system. You said what ship can make habs? What was it called? Pioneer?
Pioneer. Yeah.
Yeah. So me and you are in the war together, and we are opposing a guy who has a pioneer and he has a bigger orc. We are busy grinding bounties to get to that pioneer, to get to pyro, to get to building hubs. And these guys from the day one have the pioneer, have the resources, have the man hours to
Yeah.
swoop over to pyro and build their hub and start gathering resources way before we get to them. And when we get to them, we
That's
cannot
another issue
face
with
them because they build up all the base with
yeah.
all the turrets,
Yeah,
with all the
that's
AAA.
another issue with like having huge orgs. Like currently, the biggest org that I know of is led by Montoya, and it's
Yeah,
it's Test Squadron. So I'm imagining that they are gonna have like a fucking city on like the furthest planet available with like the most resources like immediately because yeah, they can just do that.
yeah, for sure. Unless there's it's a whole different argument there. Like, say you have Montoya's org, Test Squadron, and you have us that we have 100 people in with us.
Yeah, I don't even have an organ anymore, honestly.
Let's say we do, me
Yeah,
and you.
okay,
We
sure.
built an org in next 10 years, and we have 100 people, loyal people that will die for us, right?
Sure.
So
Right?
we have 100. We build our hab, and here comes Montoya in our instance while we're all sleeping in a different time zone, and he fills in the shard with Test Squadron and obliterates everything that we have. We cannot even log into that shard.
Well,
We cannot
see,
even go in.
yeah, that's the issue with MMOs, and that's one of the things that EVE Online players knew about. So they would like if there's a big ass org that's like ruling a section of the map or whatever you want to call it, they like smaller orgs would join in and fight the big org. That's how it needs to that's how it needs to work. And that's how it
Yeah,
will probably work in Star Citizen.
I doubt it, but let's hope.
Yeah.
Also, the guys in chat, we're just debating. We're using these guys not out of spite or hate. We're not name calling anybody. It's two intellectual people just debating stuff, basically. So
Very
no need to
intellectual,
be
by the way. I have a
no need
class.
to
I
be
also have
heated up.
classes. IQ plus 15. I guess it's just gonna be me and you, Puppeteer, because nobody else is joining and Archer left. So yeah, we might as well just like continue.
Yeah, all the chat warriors, they're doing it on the keyboard. They should come
I
here
don't
and
know what's
speak their
happening.
mind.
I wasn't like looking at the chat.
I'm looking at the screen at your face, but you're lagging, so the chat is lagging, so I'm like
Yeah,
30 seconds behind. But still, like people should come and talk, speak their mind. It doesn't hurt, and if anybody in CAG takes offense to this, like this is just an open platform that we can talk about
exactly.
certain topics that we kind of feel passionate about. We all feel passionate about this project. That's why we talk about it. I have a privilege to not be able to play this game for 2 months because I cannot claim any ships. So I'm just
You
passionate
can just dream
talking
about
about
playing
it.
Star Citizen. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
Rukumo said, unless a Redeemer is a small ship for you. So that made me wonder, what is the most pay-to-win ship for you in Star Citizen, currently and in the future?
Currently and in the future, anything that has a capacity to trade solo, basically. To
Trade.
do any task excessively solo.
So, well, I was thinking that you would say, like, from a PvPer standpoint, that you would say like an A2 or a Redeemer.
I cannot judge anything in PvP because not even the greatest PvPers don't take it seriously anymore. Because like it's been like how PvP worked in the past. There was a lot of gatekeeping, there was a lot of bugs that people intentionally kept hidden from the larger community. There was no IC posting about it. They were kept under wraps
Yeah.
because the game was so early in development that they were just excited to play and to get those wins. So one of those exploits was basically you will indestructible on repair. So I was the guy who reported that way back when, and everybody from the PvP community came in and confirmed it. But everybody before me also knew about it, and
Yeah.
nobody went the extra mile to report it. Now the shift has in PvP community changed a bit, so everybody who's big in PvP, every org that is big in PvP has devs embedded with those orgs, and they will actually, if something is exploitable, they will report directly to developers. That's what QQP did in the past. That's what Shadow Moses is doing now. That's probably what Avenger Squadron is doing right now, and so on and so on and so on. So the first PvP that we got, it was a lot of gatekeeping, a lot of keeping the knowledge of how you actually pip wiggle, of how you do 45s, or how you corkscrew. Corkscrew isn't like it's a
I remember people had
glorified.
like macros for pip wiggling back in like
Yeah,
313 days.
I used to teach guys how to peep wiggle. Like
Yeah.
the guys that I knew, Moist Noodle and B Berry and some other guys. They organized like a PvP academy, and everybody was invited. Everybody was viewer from stream and so on, and everybody learned basically how to manipulate the pip. We called it trust vectoring.
Hmm.
Other people in other communities called it pip wiggle, which in the end confirmed by devs it was pip wiggle. It's even possible to do now in current meta.
Oh
There's
yeah.
these 45s that you just basically roll on one side and do a diagonal, roll on the other side, do a diagonal. No aim can aim at you at those speeds and those maneuvers that you're doing with those G's. The only guy that can hit you is probably using a hack with a CVAR to auto aim on you. So no bullet
Yeah,
from
but
auto
like,
nudge misses you.
so how is that pay to win though? Back to the
No, no,
topic.
no, no, no,
No,
no, no, no.
I'm
Sorry.
kidding.
Yeah, yeah. That's
But
not
look, there could
nothing
be
to have.
something there, right? Because you know about the skill points and that they're like working on the skill points.
Yeah.
So, uh, what if CAG decides to like give you like sell you experience, so you can just buy
Oh, I
experience
for
points?
sure. I think that's gonna be a thing because from what I saw in the past, in current, and probably in the future, that's gonna happen, is that they're gonna try to sell everything because it's such a niche product, such a niche game that they have to probably sell everything to try to keep the flow up going. I think they're also like hiring a lot of. Somebody in chat previously said they have like 1,000 employees, maybe even 11,300
1100.
and so on. Yeah,
It's confirmed by CG. Yeah.
across multiple studios. I work for a US-based company, and it's an international company spreading from US to Indonesia and so on. And basically, what do these big companies do is hire a lot of guys from all around the world, and a lot of new talent comes in, a lot of not so experienced talent comes in, but they're paid less. So in the end, they will produce something and throw it at the wall. The wall will take something and it will stick to it, and most of it will fall down. So that's why we see all these kind of experiments and so
Oh
on.
yeah. I mean, it's
And
obvious, like the hovercraft rework or the hover mechanics rework.
yeah, so the argument
Terrible.
that more equals better isn't the case. DCS is being developed by a really small team, and the core developers have been doing it for 30 years. And that's why they have such a great product, and the patch notes from DCS are like 3 pages long every 2 weeks. But back to the point. Back to the point of why do I think it's pay to win or pay to progress or
I mean,
pay to
there's
start better?
there's a difference. So I remember one more of the things that like War Thunder did or Gaijin did for War Thunder, which was terrible because it was so pay to win that like it's like awful. So you had like let's say simulator battles, and you would like fly your fighter plane, and you were expect to see another fighter plane, but then you see a big ass bomber going for your base or just like roaming around. You're like, okay, I'm gonna attack him because I'm a fighter and that's my job. And if I get like behind him,
cannon that one shots you.
and then he has a shit ton of weapons that are all like AI controlled, and you can put points into that AI.
In the crew, yeah, I know.
Into
I
the
played the
crew.
game.
You play the game, and it just one taps you. You get
Yeah.
like a kilometer close. You still can't even fucking shoot at him.
It will one tap you. Yeah.
Its turret will one tap you, and I'm scared that Star Citizen might go down that line with like the NPC crew and all that, because like sure as hell they're gonna monetize the NPC crew somehow, right?
I did that, but if you look at the current, I never saw that on the page, but are they selling alpha UAC? Not UAC, but alpha UAC.
They are.
What's the background behind that? Because
It's the starting money. You can buy the starting money. So every time
you
after
can
a wipe
buy
or
millions,
with
right?
release, yeah.
Right.
So let me find it.
That's another example. Is that alpha USC that you bought gonna persist to the game release?
Yes.
I mean,
yes. Unfortunately, yes.
I mean, I'm clapping, but the noise cancellation is.
I know. So you go into extras. Let me actually show this to the people. You go into extras, and then you have where is it? United Earth's credits, and you can buy the credits. Oh, it's not working now. It's not loading. Yeah. So 5,000 Alpha USC is $5. 10,000 Alpha USC is $10. 20,000 Alpha USC or UEC is $20.
So they probably saw the guys that are selling it online, right? The farmers that are selling it the exploitable money for real bucks.
Could be, but like this is much pricier. But this will stay on your account. Yeah, basically. So you can spend like for $1 million, you can spend like what $1,000 if you want to have $1 million.
That's I don't know. I mean, that's preventing people from like doing it like casually, you know, just throw 1,000 on UAC or whatever.
Yeah.
But I bet you there's people with like 20 million starting money.
Well, sure. I'm starting with like 250,000.
There you go.
Because of my referrals. Because I got like one of the whatever.
Yeah, that's a whole another topic, but yeah.
Yeah.
Referrals, but I don't know. Have I made my point close enough that?
No, I understand your standpoint, but you still haven't like. I still don't understand why do you think it's like pay to win? Because like I gave you examples. Yes, you have great examples for like monetization. of other games. I can also give you like Rainbow Six Siege, which is a game that I play a lot these days. You can buy the operators. You probably saw it. I don't know if you played it, but you can buy the characters or the operators with like the in-game currency that you get after every round or every match, whatever. But if you want to progress faster, you can buy them for real money. You can buy skins for real money, but you don't have to. Like at the start, you get a bunch of like boosters, and you're gonna get like more and more money after each match.
At a competitive level, does the guy who doesn't buy anything versus the guy who buys something on Siege
There's
has
no
any
difference.
advantage over the guy?
One shot, headshot, on pistol, on fucking whatever. It does not make any difference.
It doesn't make any difference.
No.
Okay.
Yeah, you have like the newest operators are like 25,000 whatever that like in-game currency. I forgot what it is. Let's say gold. The older ones are 10,000, so you're gonna like have to wait
Okay, so
a lot.
we agree. Siege, not pay to win,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. But
Here,
okay,
in SC, you buy a ship that will allow you to
let's say you
kill
bought an
other
Idris.
guy that's in our Aurora, that's bought Star Citizen on release for $60. He gets maybe Squadron 42, and he gets well, it's not gonna be $60, but
He
anyway,
doesn't get Squadron
he
42.
buys the basic pack.
You gotta buy
just
it
to
separately
enter.
now. By the way,
Buy the separately now, yeah.
Yeah.
So he buys the PU pack, the cheapest one that he can find, and it's an Aurora, and he enters the PU versus a sweaty guy that's been into PvP his whole alpha experience, and he's unleashed with his fleet of ships. What happens?
well, he can't
Who
unleash a
wins?
fleet of ships if he's a single person, though, right?
No. He has the right to choose. I don't need to get in my
Okay,
ship
so
the
you can
Aurora
get a
that I have.
Gladius,
I
right?
have 10 of them, but I can get in my fucking, I don't know, F Lightning or whatever the fuck is gonna be out there by that time.
Let's say it's Gladius. Let's say that it's always gonna be OP.
No, let's not say it's a Gladius, because in current people will say, yeah, Aurora can kill a Gladius. Well, in a highly competitive
I wanted to say
scenario,
something.
Gladius will kill an Aurora.
I
every
wanted
time.
to say something else. I wanted to say that, like, yes, Aurora can kill the Gladius, but also Aurora can grind for a day or so and buy the Gladius. And in the end, in a Gladius versus Gladius environment, the better pilot will win, always, in, like, whatever master mode or whatever we get.
Yeah, but let's go to analogy back to Pyro. You and me versus with our guys versus the guys that had head start. Do you think that they're gonna come attached in Gladiuses, or they're gonna come with Idrises and javelins and bombas from the orbit?
That's another thing. That's like talking about orgs and maybe having an org maximum player limit.
Even if we
like that.
even if we have orgs, even if we have multiplayer gameplay that's gonna be 200 versus 200, like I'm super optimistic, like 100 versus 100, moderately optimistic. Even at that point, we have 100 starter guys that had to grind their way over to Pyro on any other system, and the guys who bought all these ships have an org equal to that, and they come after us. Who's gonna win?
I think it's still more of a skill-based game. Because why I'm saying that is because I had fights previous to this, like flight model and I'm not gonna say the meta, but
the most OP ship that was like in the past or in current is like the snub fighter, because you cannot hit it.
Yeah,
you cannot compare PvP in now sense. You gotta compare it like, let's say Star Citizen becomes next Eve, and in Eve everybody started from zero.
In a perfect
Here, we
setting,
start differently.
Yeah. In a perfect setting, I'm still gonna say that people with more skill will prevail, simply because I have had, and it's not just like Star Citizen, like any other game, even in Siege, I have had matches where I was the last guy standing and the whole fucking team of 5 people was still alive. and I
know you
won.
do. I was in a, like, let's say, a highly competitive org, which was with Darklaw and Fresh as Ice, which is now Shadow Moses. We had fights where, well, 3 or 4 of us will kill like half of the server.
Yeah,
We
exactly.
cannot compare that. We cannot compare. We cannot compare because, like, even if you go with, I don't know, light fighters, I don't think that will evolve. That's the current meta. Like,
Yeah,
light
yeah, sure,
fighter,
sure.
snub fighter equals I can kill
At some
everything in a
point,
swarm.
Hammerhead is actually gonna be a Corvette and do its job. Sure,
Exactly. What
sure.
happens then?
What happens then? Then you buy an Eclipse.
You buy, yeah.
I mean, in the game, you don't need to buy another store, right?
Yeah, yeah.
I mean,
You
the
have
reason
to
why I'm saying
grind
this
that
is
Eclipse to buy it.
I don't know if you know, but like CG has said a couple of times now that once the game releases, they're not going to be selling old ships anymore. The only thing that they're going to sell, like all of the ships that we have right now in concept and all of that, once they're finished, they're finished. The game gets released and they're not selling them anymore. They're only going to sell the game package ships. So let's say the Cutter, the Aurora, the whatever. And they will be selling like new concepts and new ships that are going to come out. But all the older ships are going to be like locked basically, and you can only buy them in the game. So
That's great.
I can tell you right now that those new ships are going to be pay to win as fuck.
Yeah, I agree completely. Like, every new ship that has been out recently, like, always had a mechanic that wants you to swipe the card, you know?
Yeah.
So it drags you into the like, yeah, that Fury, man, that Fury, it's $50. It comes with a LTI token, and it can kill a light fighter easily. It doesn't have enough fuel, but it can kill a light fighter.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Nothing
Oh,
can hit it.
that Corsair, it has fucking 23 guns on it.
Corsair, Ion,
Yeah.
Saber,
But
Super Hornet.
if you
It goes
knew
and goes.
how
The
this
list
game
goes.
works and how CG works, you would know that you shouldn't buy it because, like, yeah, it's gonna get nerfed, or the flight model is gonna be so bad, like with the Corsair, that you just don't want to fly it anymore.
Exactly. That's why I obtain my stuff in game. But I'm not here like to blame anyone. You can spend how much ever you
Of
want on the
course,
game.
yeah, sure.
Thank you for funding the project.
Thank you
With
for your service.
anything that you can, like, even $20 matters, even $100, whatever. Like, everything matters. Like, we all want this game to get finished and get in our hands to be completed. My question now, it isn't like, is it pay to win now? Is it like now? What happens in the future though? That's my main question here. What
I
happens
mean,
in that
do we
future
know
on a
anything about the
competitive level?
future of Star Citizen? That's the issue, right?
Yeah, we agreed on that in the past, but
Yeah.
my question with this is like, and I think
I
it's
can
a
tell you one
question that.
thing. I can tell you one thing that I just remembered of. So,
Mhm.
Death of a Spaceman. If you go and look at their website, you can see that Death of a Spaceman is defined as you dying and your shit being transferred to the next of kin or whatever. And you will be losing certain stuff with that, like, being a thing. Like, once it happens, you will lose components that you bought, maybe some credits or whatever. And you will lose ships if they are not insured.
So you're maybe speculating that lifetime insurance, maybe for that life in particular, once you degrade your clone enough, not everything will be passed to your next of kin.
Yes, it's stated on the website. So the only way to acquire the ships that you had that you bought with real money, and you can see that on the website, is I don't know if I should paraphrase it or if I should read it out, but if you don't trust me, just check it out. It's they say you can buy it in the game for like a cheaper price, but you will need to buy it again, right?
Yeah, so you will have to grind again and acquire.
Exactly.
But do you really think that that's gonna be the system?
I don't know.
Because that's the problem in itself. Do you think that this community that in the
Oh no,
past
the
has,
community is not gonna like that. Sure. Look, the community is not gonna like the new flight model. The community is not going to like anything. Like they want their like PvP sliders. That's that like in it's a question of like how much CG is going to listen to the community's outrages and all of that.
Yeah, PvP slider was something that was mentioned and basically promised to them. So that was like that's a whole another topic of promises versus reality and what's going to happen because nobody knows what's going to happen.
Yeah, I'm currently at the website. So there was like a question, or maybe it was a Q&A, that of a Spaceman Q&A. Let me see. Q&A. There was a question of like, what happens if you only have one ship and you lose it? And they said, well, you can like hop into another player's ship or on a turret or whatever until you like earn enough money to get yourself a ship. And like, I honestly don't know if I like it or not, but like you know that the people with the most ships play the game the least, and then that like they're not the best players around, and
Yeah,
they
the
will be
avid
dying a lot.
supporters. Yeah, we
Yeah,
we call them whales, but they're
yeah,
the avid supporters. They wanna see the mission success. So kudos to them. Some people that have like millions to spend in their life. What's like 20 grand or 70 grand to them, or that guy that spent like said like 100 grand on the game. Like in the beginning, some guys would sending to CAG like whole coffers of expensive wine just to like it's money is not something that we should talk about, but rather the game mechanic in itself and how it will affect the player base in the future. So for me, uh, it's something that can potentially kill the project on the release. Because if a new guy,
sure.
oh, Star Citizen finally released, I'm so hyped to play this game, and he comes in and he gets
He
destroyed.
tries to take off, rams the hanger, dies. You have
Dies.
4 lives
He
left.
doesn't have LTI.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's fucked. He doesn't have LTI. He's fucked.
Yeah.
What now? Swipe the credit card again, motherfucker. So I'm sorry for my French, but I mean, I see a huge problem in that, and I would love to see a monetization kind of method that will change over the years and basically bring this game from being speculated as scams and being speculated. I'm not saying it's a scam, being speculated as scams and being on lips of streamers that basically it's an experiment, as we all heard from Mark and so on, from Crowd and so on, that it becomes like a light beacon that it was in 2012. That basically a guy came out that we all love, and it was like it's Chris Roberts who came out, and I'm making a PC-centric game with single player and multiplayer in mind. Will you help me achieve it? And we are here to help him achieve it. But I don't think in the end stretch goal people are gonna like the fact that I just spoke about previously.
I mean, do you really think that the game will like return to the roots and be as promising as it was back in 2012?
Hope die last, so I'll speak about that after the CitizenCon that we're gonna watch.
Oh, okay. So you're waiting for the Citizen Con. All right.
Yeah, I actually pledged for the fucking Squadron 42, and
You're one of the only
I
people that are actually excited about Squadron 42, honestly.
it's my childhood, man. Like those games, those space games,
Well,
Echelon
understandable.
that you mentioned in the past streams, Star Lancer. It's my childhood. I would read, the magazine. It's called Svet Computera, World of
Mm-hmm.
Computers. We would read that, and we would, because there was no like web pages that will provide you a list of top games. You had to get the magazine and read through it, basically. So, and I'm not that old. I'm 37. So
Hey, you're my age.
yeah,
Yeah.
so you have to read through that magazine and look, Star Lancer. Oh, it got so high a review and so high critics and everything. I'm gonna go pirate it because we couldn't buy games at that point. But and I played heck a lot out of it. I
Mhm.
played the shit out of it, and I loved it. Like the whole
Remember only
campaign and
having like 5 games and just
yeah,
like playing
and
them,
all the time
and
in
they
the
were
world to play
good.
them, and all the time to play them in the world. Yeah,
Yeah, and they were
Battlezone,
actually
Mech
good.
Warrior, Heavy Gear, all the good games
Yeah.
of my childhood. But yeah, I would love this game to bring back that feeling. And currently, I don't have that feeling. I have, as I described, like a quite worrisome kind of feeling. And I think
Yeah.
that's okay
I
also.
guess we'll see with CitizenCon, but like they're gonna like hype us up every time, and nothing is gonna happen. Like you know that every CitizenCon we had like a sandworm.
Yeah, yeah.
Unfortunately.
If history has taught us anything, it was like that there was a lot of fluff. And but there's also like a lot of fluff that we don't see, and that's in, like you described, like on the progress tracker, there's like 10 of Squadron 42 trackers, and there's like 10 PU trackers.
Yeah.
And I have been in the past talking to some developers, and basically they were helpful in the past, like not helpful, bad wording there, but they would talk about what you would about PU mechanics, and they will still talk about those PU mechanics, but they will say like, look, dude, I'm not no longer tasked for PU. I'm tasked for Squadron 42, and I'm connecting slowly the dots that a lot of those
Yeah.
big PU guys are now literally just focusing on Squadron, and that potentially we on next CitizenCon we actually see something from Squadron,
Yeah, but like
and maybe get a release date, a renewal of
I don't
release
think we're
date.
gonna get a release date honestly because like it was the same with like 2018. We had a vertical slice and then nothing for 5 years.
Yeah,
But yeah,
yeah.
all right.
If that happens, then all my like, I said
You're
on
gonna ask
past
for a
season con
refund
I was
after
really
buying
disappointed.
the account in like 2012.
No, I'm not gonna refund ever. Like I'm
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 kidding. I'm
I'm
kidding.
tied to my account, and I didn't spend that much. It's like 350 bucks. But my point being is like I would just lose interest in tracking the progress of Star Citizen, and I would
Completely. Yeah.
probably move on or whatever.
Exactly. Understandable. All right. Thank you. We have another caller, so I'm surprised, and I can't really see the name. Can you tell me what the name of the caller is?
I think he's hiding the name because he doesn't want to be pinpointed with his nickname from PU.
Okay. No, for me it's like three and like three dots, and it's
Uh,
like streamer
it's
mode
no, it's
thingy.
because of your streaming mode, but
Yeah, yeah.
it's 3x073k. I don't know how to call that guy.
Okay,
Uh,
we'll see.
anyway, message to the chatters. Get on here and express your opinions. Nothing hurts.
Yeah. Right. Thank you for this. We're gonna talk to. I'm gonna call him 3. Thank you, Puppeteer. It's always a
No worries,
pleasure.
man.
Bye.
Always, man. Bye, bye.
Let me drag him in. Can I even drag him in? There we go. Hello, Mr. 3. I'm gonna call you Mr. 3 because I can't see your name.
Yeah, you're right, mate. It's actually 3X XO or Exotech for nerd speak.
3x. You gotta spell it out for me because I can't see it because of the streamer mode. It's so stupid.
Exotech, just XO. XO works.
3XO. Okay. Tech.
So how you going?
There we go. Alrighty. How are you? You're a first time caller,
I'm
I
doing
think.
well. Oh, mate, I'm one of your Aussie watchers, mate. It's like 6 o'clock in the morning here at the moment.
Jesus.
I usually finish work and listening to you on the way home, so this is kind of a surprise.
Nice. All right. So let's start off. First of all, you gotta, because people already know Puppeteer. Give me a second.
Yeah, you're right. Take your time.
My dogs are just being rowdy. So, when did you start playing? When did you like pledge the first time? And why are you awake still?
Okay, 2014, I think. Well, I
Alrighty.
heard about the game from some friends, but because it wasn't playable or I couldn't actually do anything in it, I just kind of waited until something was playable, and my friends told me, and I jumped in. I think 213, 214 was the date on my account when I last checked it.
All right. So why are you still
Uh,
awake? That's the second question.
oh, sorry, what was the second question?
Why are you still awake if it's 6 a.m.?
Because I'm usually night shifter, mate. I work,
Ah, okay.
overnights.
Fair enough. Alrighty. So what are your thoughts on Star Citizen, and like, is it pay to win to you, or is it not? Is it pay to progress?
Well, I don't think it's either. Yeah, when you say pay to win, there has to be something you have to win, like the end of the game, like a result, an ending. And at the moment in the game, it's just it's a result of getting rep up so that you can get access to
Yeah.
more quests, which isn't really an end game, is it? It's just yeah. So
Yeah.
in my world, it doesn't really feel like a pay to win, but it's paid to extort, or I don't know. It's weird. I'm going to say a
Extort?
lot of wonderful things and a lot of bad things, but in the world of CIG trying to make money to produce this game, they have to sell something, and obviously they've gone a little over the top with it.
Sure.
Um, but there's no actual win to it. Like, like sure you can go into some events and stuff, you can unlock some things, but really at the end of the end of the day, it's just an environment you get to go in and engage and experience in.
Yeah. But do you think that in the future, Star Citizen will be pay to win? That like us paying for our Idrises, pioneers, whatever, is gonna like uh, uh, make us win the game faster or win fights or whatever.
Um, I reckon it's possible, and the way CIG is selling, like, what is it, career kits and stuff that people are losing straight
Oh
off the
Jesus
bat,
Christ! Yeah.
it can definitely steer that way, and that's the thing about companies and stuff. They're looking at the bottom line, and they will definitely look at that as an option.
Mm-hmm.
But it also depends on what they're winning at the end too. Like, I mean, most people just buy the start package and they work their way up to get the win that they want.
Yeah.
Whereas other people have got so much money, they push it all in there. And if CIG sees them and says, okay, well, let's once we release, another section of this, we could sell this to you. So absolutely, they could turn it into a pay to win in seconds.
Yeah. So currently we have. I'm just gonna use the calculator. So let's say that they earned. Let's round it up and let's say 600 million. Divided by 2 million players, because that's like the last stat that Chris Roberts gave us.
Yeah, wow.
Did I say 200 million? Jesus Christ, what am I talking
Yes.
about? 2 million, sorry.
Nice.
We have 2 million players, Jesus. That's how much money per player? I'm doing this wrong. I can't do it without a numpad.
Yeah, no, that's fair. On a
Okay.
personal experience, like I've pledged probably around maybe $800, and that's Australian, which is worth a lot less, when you're purchasing stuff from CIG.
Yeah, so I got it right. So it's $300 average. So most
Yeah,
people, I would
that's
say,
about right.
bought only the starter package, and then you have whales, and you have like people that are almost whales. So that was the point that I wanted to make. Please continue. Sorry.
No, you're right. But yeah, like I've spent money over time, and recently it's been more about upgrades than it has been purchasing ships or anything else from the site.
Mm-hmm.
So and yeah, I reckon a lot of people are probably jumping on that boat and getting upgrades to what they've previously purchased, and that's probably where a lot of their money's coming into as well.
Yeah.
So whether or not they decide to go pay to win is still up in the air, but yeah, they could
But
definitely go that way, which would be sad.
what would you think that like the most pay to win element would be in Star Citizen, or like what do you think that the most pay to win element is gonna be in the future of Star Citizen? Like once the game releases.
I'm gonna guess that it's probably gonna be content events. Just because of the scale of what they're trying to do, they're trying to put so many people into this multiplayer environment, and they're probably going to want to work the chain up of these reputations so that you can access key missions and things like that. At the moment, if anyone's calling it pay to win, it's because of the size of their ship they get to keep on the wipe. And that's about as far as their pay to win goes. But in the future, it could be very much so a case of they finish the reputation for a certain faction like Microtech or Hurston or whatever, and they open up these quests and maybe they get to pay to skip all the reputation running straight to those end game events.
That's interesting. Yeah, I would say like skill points and NPC crew and maybe even habs to like have better buildings or different kind of buildings that you can't really make, or it's gonna be like a painful thing to make with a pioneer, even if you bought the pioneer in the game. And then like, because with a pioneer, you first of all you need to like unlock the blueprints, and then you need to like have all the resources to make a certain building, right?
Yep.
And I'm thinking that you will just like skip the whole thing, skip the whole grind by paying in the store. Just like the same
Oh,
thing
yeah.
is with the Galaxy, you can just like buy the modules right now in the store. You don't need to like get the ship and then buy the modules in the game. You can just like buy it and have
See,
all the modules. Hmm?
yeah, I haven't really looked at any of the modules for the ships. I did end up purchasing a caterpillar like with in-game currency, but there was talk that there was going to be modules for that, but I never did actually see anything.
Yeah, I mean, how many ships should have been modular, and where the fuck is modularity for years now? Like the
Yeah.
Retaliator, the Carrack, the Caterpillar, the Cutlass was supposed to be modular. The Avenger was supposed to be modular, etc., etc.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah, there were a lot of promises, but even when they increased the scope of the game, it was like, they kept saying, we're going to add all this, we're going to add all that. But because of the scale of what they're trying to do, it's going to take so long.
yeah. So what else would you say that is like currently pay to win? Like for me, it's the A2. Honestly, A2 is just like a ship that completely just like annihilates all the ground troops, and you can't really
Oh,
like
yeah.
you can't really fight it. Like the only thing that you can do is have an eclipse in the air and hope that the torpedo is going to hit.
Yeah, well, that's it. That's what it is right now. Like, if anyone's going to call it pay to win now, it's because of the ships, because they can pay money to keep these ships where they don't have to grind up to them. And I mean, that's where it is. Like, if anyone can call it pay to win now, that's about as far as pay to win as you can get.
Yeah, but like
Uh,
that's why I would say like pay to progress, because you can buy most of the ships, not all of them, but you can buy most of the ships in the game with like the in-game currency by just grinding. But in the end, as I've said with Puppeteer, if you're not skilled enough, you're probably gonna lose that ship. Like even if you're in a Gladius, which is the meta fighter, if you're fighting against I don't know a really good PvPer, you're probably gonna lose.
yep. And you also got to remember too that they don't exactly put the new ships out straight off so that you can buy them with in-game currency. There's usually a
Oh
time
yeah,
period,
oh
and
yeah.
a lot of people like to brag, that they've got lots of bling in the game, and they'll come and charge up to you with their big ships.
I actually hate that. Honestly, that's one of the things that I really hate about Star Citizen.
Yeah, it gets a bit childish in there sometimes, but I'm also guilty of getting a
No,
little
I'm not
childish
even
with.
talking about the community. Like they're gonna boast like that. That's normal. I guess that's gonna happen. But like CAG enabling them to do that locking certain ships once they get released, locking them from the general public so they can't get them. Like for example, me as a content creator, if I want to do a ship review, I either have to buy it, like a new ship. I either have to buy it or I need to have a friend that already has it. Right?
Yeah.
There's no way for me to review it. We don't have any like incentive by CAG or any like they made like a post like a couple of years ago about the content creators and how they're gonna do something for us and all of that, but that never fucking happened. The only thing that is happening is they're like giving Twitch streamers and the big ones, they're giving them ships to like give away, and that's it. That's
Well,
it.
yeah, that's it. I think that was the extent of their assisting the content creators, which is
Of
kind of
course.
sad because I was expecting stories or some sort of quests that involved some dialogue and steps. And I mean, there are a couple of those now, but there's not enough for a range of content creators to go in there and have different arcs of what they're doing now.
Yeah.
At best, we've got a lot of criticism. We've got a couple of funny ones, funny content creators. I don't know if anyone's heard of Wicked Wookie, but he's
Yeah,
funny
of course.
as.
I did a couple of reactions. He's actually in the Discord here. Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. Like when it comes to content creators, and like it's like derailing the whole thing right now. But when it comes to that, I think Ubisoft did real good with Rainbow Six Siege, because if you're a viewer of a Twitch streamer and that Twitch streamer is big and has like I'm gonna say a contract with UB, you like after watching for I don't know how many hours, you will get like a weapon charm that you can like hang on your weapons that is like customized to whatever that streamer wants. So currently,
Okay.
it's a small thing. It doesn't affect your gameplay at all. You can't buy it in the store. The only way to get it is by watching the streamer, and that's cool. That's cute, right?
Yeah, that is pretty cool.
Yeah.
I know they were doing that for Warframe a while ago. If you watch Twitch when they were doing their Warframe cons or whatever it was, and
I have
yeah, you
never
watch
played
for a
Warframe, and I never watched. I mean, I don't watch Twitch honestly at all.
yeah,
I'm not
right.
gonna lie.
Well, they were doing the reward system through that, where if you watch for a certain amount of time, they'd give you all these weapons and skins in game. It was pretty good.
Yeah. I just saw in chat that somebody said that it's not 2 million people, that there's multiple accounts per person, referring to the calculations that they did. But you're wrong, because there's 4.7 million accounts. And Chris Roberts' last Citizen Con said that there's 2 million people, like different active users playing. Which
Okay,
I'm like
yeah.
confused about, like active. I'm not sure that like all 2 million of them are active, because I tend to see like the same people on servers, but sure.
Well, yeah, same here for me. Like I jump from the Australian server to the Asian servers, depending on how many times we get 30Ks in an hour. It gets pretty intense with the connections over here. But what was I saying?
I don't know. So, sorry if I cut you off.
No, you're right. But it's just, yeah, you have that constant, that drive the system that just keeps kicking you off.
Yeah. So to stay on the topic of pay to win, first of all, do you know of any games, and can you describe to us how that model works that you think that is a pay to win? And do you have any like other games that are really good when it comes to the funding model, and they're not pay to win, and you actually dig it, and you think that it could be like implemented into Star Citizen?
Well, a lot of the stuff, I don't really want them implementing pay to win stuff in Star Citizen, because at the moment the community's helping each other. They're helping each other, step up.
Yeah.
So as soon as it starts turning into
Trulex
pay to
super
win,
chatted
it's gonna segregate a lot of the
$6.39.
players and
Love your
cause a lot of
Star
issues.
Citizen
But one of the
optimism,
games that
Grumpy.
actually
Always
inspired
look on
me,
the bright side
to
of life.
the drive was Warframe, actually, because they didn't actually tell you what to buy. If you needed it, you could purchase it, and you'd be buying the credit through the game, and there was no force majeure. Everything was like laid out in front of you and explained.
Yeah.
Even in this game, like even in Star Citizen, the the persistent universes, they don't really explain to you what anything is worth. So and that's always that trap system. But the only other game that see now, yeah, because I'm a first-person shooter mainly. The reason I got into Star Citizen was just the environment, the experience, sort of thing, and
Yeah.
yeah, a little bit of flight. But yeah, for the pay-to-win model, like I don't want to see a pay-to-win model. But if they were going to do anything, like it should be something along the lines of what Warframe did. You know, nothing like World of Warcraft or any of the MMOs that they, you know.
Mm-hmm. No, I asked you, like, do you have a bad example, like, of a bad funding model that is pay to win? And then do you
Oh
have
yeah,
another one like that is a good example of how you should fund your game without it being a pay to win experience?
well, yeah, that's it. Well, yeah, Warframe does the winning version of a pay to win, and World of Warcraft does the worst version of the pay to win. Well, the ones that I know of, anyway.
Yeah. Okay, that's fair enough. Should I try Warframe? I actually never, like, I have it installed.
Actually, free. Yeah, man, it's free. You should give it a bash. It's actually got a really good storyline. If you go through the quests and that, it's actually enjoyable. Yeah, a lot of fun, bit of challenge. It's great.
What is it? Like, is it like a third person shooter? Is it?
Yeah, it's over the shoulder shooter. Yeah, very moddable. Like you can use guns, you can use melee weapons. It's a space adventure, different planets. You
Oh,
open a
that's cool.
place up.
That's cool.
Yeah, and you're grinding for loot and materials to build new weapons, new warframes, stuff like that. Yeah, it's actually a lot of fun.
All right. Do you have anything else to add?
Nothing except love your work. I've been
Thank
watching
you,
for a
buddy.
while, and
Thank you.
make sure you stay grumpy. All right. I noticed lately. You've got a bit of a thing for CIG. I just wanted to let you know they're not exactly the evil monsters everyone's making them out to be.
No, I'm
A
I'm
lot of
not I'm not even trying to do that. I'm just like stating my mind on the state of the game. I want to play Star
beautiful.
Citizen. That's the thing. That's what like people don't understand. I want it to succeed, and I actually want to play Star Citizen, but it's unplayable
Yeah.
for me. I don't have a fucking patience of a Jedi Master or a Shaolin monk. Honestly, I want my games to
I do.
work. Hmm?
I'll tell you, when I was a teenager, I was playing what was it, Wing Commander 3, Eye of the Tiger or something, and it was one of Chris Roberts' games.
Okay.
And just because of the amount of video games, and so I know he did a movie that was terrible, but with the video game and what he was trying to create, I could see it even back then. And when he came out with this, I kind of put faith in it. I knew it was going to be a long wait, but I think it was definitely worth the effort that he's put in so far, and I'm really hoping he gets it too. Right, like fingers crossed, because I enjoy it.
Yeah, hopefully, but yeah, honestly, I don't, and I'm not trying to be negative. I'm just like speaking my mind because like I don't know. I hopped in a couple of days ago. I wanted to check it out and see if I'm just being like over dramatic, and I got a ship, a Cuddy Black, I think. I'm not sure. Spawned in Lorville. Went to like no, it was a Corsair. So I went to like pick up a Ursa rover to one of the mining outposts. Landed, stepped out of the fucking Corsair, died immediately by like for stepping on the planet. And I know that there's like a revive thing because they don't know what's causing the issue. But in the armistice zones, if you die, you will be revived. But it took 5 minutes, 6 minutes, 7 minutes, and I was like, yeah, this is not happening because the server is so slow. So I just gave up and I played other games.
Yeah,
Like that's
yeah,
my experience. So I like it's unplayable to me and or for me. But on the other hand, I have played it so much that um, even without the bugs, I currently do not see why would me as a player, why would I play it again? Because there's not that many new things that have been added. I was really excited about salvage, and
oh,
I want to live on the Reclaimer. I think that the Reclaimer is the big the best looking ship that they made, the most sci-fi ship that they made. I love the interior, the exterior, and everything. I want to live there and I want to grind by
Yeah, right.
by like salvaging.
Yeah, I think
Salvaging
my
is
favorite ship so far, I think, has been the Drake Cutter.
oh
I don't know.
yeah,
It's just small, gets into those places. If
it's
that, it was the
amazing to fly too.
C8X Pisces.
Yeah,
I don't know. I think I like small.
yeah, me too. I like if I wasn't a content creator, I think the cutter would be the only ship that I own, honestly, because it's really good, and you can interact with like most of the interior of the ship. But just to like conclude,
I think
my
I'm having a connection issue. Good
do
old
I?
Aussies and their winning internet.
Okay. So I just wanted to finish my thoughts. So um, I tried salvage. I didn't like it because it was like,
All right, testing.
whatever.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Nope, I'm not hearing you. Give me 1 sec.
You can't hear me. All right. Technical issues, guys. Hello, testing 1 2.
Testing,
Can you
testing.
hear
Got
me?
it. I had to load up my other internet. Lol.
Can you hear me now? Hello.
Yes, sir.
All right. So I just wanted to finish my thoughts. So I tried salvage. I was really excited about it. I didn't like it because yeah, it's a power wash simulator, and then you got to go in the back and move the boxes, which I think is really stupid. I understand that they want to make multi-crewing a thing, especially in the reclaimer, but I think there are better ways to do it. But whatever, it's just me. And but like it's the same in the vulture, so it makes no sense. And so I was really disappointed. So like it was the only new game loop that I got for the past like I don't know 3 years of playing the game, and I was really excited about it. And I was like, okay, well maybe component salvage is going to be better, but no, it's not because you can't salvage components from like most of the ships because you can't fit them through the doors. And if you try salvaging weapons, well, tough luck, you can't sell them. You can't get any money.
Yeah, actually,
So yeah,
I agree with you there. I did try the salvaging, and I didn't actually do it in a vulture or anything that was doing salvaging. I actually pulled up in my caterpillar and just started yoinking bits off it and throwing it in the front.
yeah. So yeah, for me,
Yeah.
like it's just a game that I actually don't want to play anymore until something
Yeah,
new and
I
exciting
feel it.
happens. But yeah. Anyway, if you
Yep,
have
I agree
anything
with
else to add, or we
you.
can
No,
finish
that's
here.
it. No, thanks for having me on.
No, thank you for hopping on. Alrighty,
No worries. All right. Well,
see
thank you.
ya.
I'll keep watching.
All right, bye.
All right. Laters.
All right, so I guess that's it for today. Unless any of you wanna like be the late caller and hop in, which would be cool. It's you just gotta hop into my community Discord and hop into the pre-podcast audio channel, and that's it. I'm gonna drag you in. If not, I'm gonna end it here. I'm getting really tired because I slept for like 5 hours. But yeah, if that's it, and I think that's it, I'm gonna have to thank you for watching, and do not forget to bring a towel when you're traveling through space. And mwah. I don't know if we got anything from this. We had a lot of opposing opinions in the chat and in the voice chat. Puppeteer still thinks that it's a pay-to-win game. I'm not convinced. Heavy Bob said it's a pay-to-win game. I would say pay-to-progress. Although I can see pay-to-win elements being there in the future, and I'm not even talking about ships. I'm talking about maybe buying skill points for your player or buying skill points for your NPC crew whenever that happens. But yeah, that's it for today, guys. Bye and good night, and I love you all. Ciao.